Hey, it's Dino, DigitSpin Crypto, and I'm glad you made it, glad you're here. I see lots of folks already in the chat, and so we'll get to that in a few seconds. So, appreciate you being with us for the show today. We're having lots of fun, talking about a lot of good stuff. So, first thing I obviously, got to tell you, this is an infotainment show, and do your own research. I'm not a financial advisor. You know all the good stuff. All right, so let's go on with that. Now, yesterday's show, I talked about all the ASICs and, that they bring some coins in on our experimental ASIC. And thought it'd be a good idea. Maybe we should give some of those Electroneum coins away. In the future, we'll probably even do some WebDollars, but for now, let's stick with what we know, the Electroneum. And so we're going to start it off kind of slow, and how we're going to do this process is we'll take a look at the show before. I'd like to give away some every day, so I'm thinking I'll start off easy. We'll start off with 50 Electroneum, so that's a week's worth of mobile mining or more, depending on the phone you have. And so we'll start off with 50, and what we'll do is we'll take a look at the show before. Don't know if it'll be every day, but we'll start off with that, and we'll pick it out as we go along. Now, to be considered in the contest, you have to put a intelligent, fun, and exciting comment after the show. Don't put it in the scroll there, the chat. because that goes away at the end of the show, or it can't be selected from the chat. It has to be in the comments, so you have to wait till after the show, come back to the show, and put your comments in there. Include your address, that you want the Electroneum, and then add a nice comment in there. While you're at it, if you feel like commenting and subscribing, that's always good. Oh, I'll move over here for a second. That's always good too, and it's appreciated and allows us to do more and more stuff for everybody. So we appreciate that, and we just want to give back a little bit to the folks that have been watching our show, participating. I've been interacting with so many people. There's a lot of wonderful folks out there, and we appreciate each and every one of you. Now, we also started up a private Telegram, DigitSpin crypto Telegram. So if you use Telegram on your phone, your computer, all that good stuff, you'll find the link down below when the show gets reset. It's also in yesterday's show. You'll see a Telegram link. It's for a private channel where I'll be personally interacting, putting information, tidbits, things as I know them, and you may know them before me sometimes. So you'll be able to put it in there and share it with a very special group of folks. Us folks here that hang out at DigitSpin Crypto. So that's going to be also fun. If you have coins, there's a lot of other coins out there also besides Electroneum. If you have coins that you want me to take a look at, we can do either a cursory look real quick on the screen, or I can dive into it a little bit more if it looks interesting. Maybe we'll start with it on the screen, and if it looks good, I'll do some more work on it. But feel free to put that in the chat, and we can start adding some more material to the show and make it more exciting and fun for everybody. Okay. I think I covered all the basics, so we're gonna get into it. And before I do, we're gonna take a look at the chat and just say hello to everybody that's in there. We got Paul. Paul says good evening. That's good to see you. My good friend here, Jacob. Jacob's on the West Coast, and he did that video with Disney character. Well, I forgot the name of the little robot, the little Cosmo robot, or whatever he is. I forgot his name. And has the Electroneum in the video. It's a cute video. Take a look at it. It was a 242 contest entry. So it's always good to see Jacob. Big fella's here. Big fellow thinks the song matches me perfectly. It's probably because of the hat and all the things going on around here. Yeah. I'm an old guy. What do I know? It is what it is. But appreciate that there, big fella. Sergeant of the Marines is in the house. Appreciate you. That's always good. Rick Viper Moto. Good to see you. I'll see you out there. All right, we're going to get into some of these questions. We got Double X out there, Matthew Gray's out there, Michael's out there, Jeffrey's out there. Appreciate all you guys. Don't forget to ask any questions throughout the show as we go along. If you have any, knock them out, put them in the chat, and we'll go from there. All right, now we did all the hellos. Let's take a look at what we got going on here. Let's bring up my pre-configured screen. All right, so what I want to start off with is let's do the basics. Bitcoin is on a freaking tear. I mean, all of you guys you have to admit, right, Mr. Bean? Right. Yeah, see, Mr. Bean agrees. Bitcoin's on a tear. And this is a lot of the excitement that's going on. It's a huge amount of speculation, ETFs. There is a confirmation, though, that they will make a judgment on the ETFs on the 21st of September. And there's 5 ETFs that have applied, all of them to do with Bitcoin first. And if those are successful, I'm sure you'll start to see them encroach into other coins that have significant market capitalization. so that the ETF doesn't blow the coin out of the water. It's probably got to have a good chunk of money in that $1 billion range to even qualify, maybe even more. So, but I know they'll start with, because you can't have somebody going in and buying. It'll just the purchase alone would cause its own inflation, and why would they want to do that to themselves? It's got to have enough fluidity in the coin to be able to absorb larger purchases without shooting it through the roof. So it looks like, you know, the feedback is that, you know, there's a lot, the rumor, the whisper that's going around is that there's a lot of folks thinking that it's going to happen, and so that'll be pretty exciting. It'll add a lot of excitement. Now, keep in mind, the major benefactor of those is going to be Bitcoin initially. It'll bleed out into some of these altcoins, especially those in the 100 range. Those 100 coins are going to probably see some residual effects about it. It's my belief Electroneum will be in one of those 100. Will be one of those 100 coins. So it will take a little bit of time for that money to get into the altcoin. So there'll be some benefits to quite a lot of stuff, quite a lot of these projects going forward. Let's take a quick look here, see what we have. Alright, so I'm going to answer some of these questions as we go along, and let's just take a quick look here. On the Electroneum, obviously it's holding its own. The good news is Electroneum is, I believe, 93 on the list, so it's working its way back up, which is great. It's awesome, it's exciting, and something we want to see happen. So you know, keep an eye on it as we go along. Obviously, all of our markets are doing pretty good. KuCoin's taking #1 spot for market volume on Electroneum. This is all good to see here. The volumes are still, I believe, to be on the lower side as people start to see what's happening with Electroneum. We're going to start to see a pickup in the volume, which is going to be important. Without the purchasing power, the volume doesn't go anywhere, and so you need interest in the Electroneum coin, the Electroneum project, and that's going to happen because of all the excitement that's not only happening in the immediate future in these next 2 weeks, but there are sets of things that are going to be happening. You got payment processing system coming out. Little Bird told me that it's possible that we may even see some upgrades to the apps. So, you know, in the future, new features, new capabilities of the app. So keep that in mind. That you heard that here, DigitSpin. So keep that in the back of your head as a nice little nugget. Okay, so before we go on, let's take a quick look and see if we can answer some of these questions. So, big fella's asking, what the heck is wrong with coin? Beanie? We'll have to go with Coin Bean, I guess. Better not be another Cryptopia. No, so let me answer that, and I want to be real upfront and straightforward with you guys. This is important that you understand this. All right. The Monero code base, the CryptoNight-based coins, are complicated. They're a privacy coin, and because of that, there are a lot of additional hoops that transactions go through to make them private. All right, that is the feature, the key. Now, granted, Electroneum took some of those out, but the core code is the same. It's a Monero-based code. It's not as simple as a Bitcoin to interject and to put in. It's not as simple as you know, Ethereum to put in, because of its nature of securing, hiding, mixing, putting things through a barrel, obfuscating IP addresses. There's so much that goes on that if an exchange has never put a Monero coin on their exchange, they don't know what they're up against. Okay, so it's a more technical interaction with their environment. Because keep in mind, they put a plug-in or module in that tracks what's going on with Electroneum or Monero, in this case Electroneum, and they determine so many coins have come in. They give it to a wallet, they hide those coins, put them off to the side, and then now they're working off of a database to let people trade back and forth. When you cash out, they dig in the little bag of coins, pull them out, and then send them. So there's a lot going on there to be able to bring these two environments together. So in all fairness, the Coinbean, being that this is their first one, I don't think that they understood the complexity of it, and they found out real quick. Clearly their technical folks are real good. From what I understand, they have it working. They picked up the phone and they said, "Hey, Electroneum, man, can you send Tony and Nick over here? I need them to help me set this up." And Electroneum got on the phone and conference calls, and they helped them through the process. Gave them all of the bells and whistles, the knickknacks on how to hook this thing together. So they're running tests on it. From what I understand, it's completely functioning and working, and it'll just be a matter of them running additional tests. The last thing they want to do is have it fail. And what are you going to call them then if it fails and everything goes into the curb? So let them do those tests. It'll come back out on Thursday. It's the worst thing on the planet to release an interaction or a piece of software when it's not complete, not ready, not functioning. I mean, think about games and stuff. People release these games and half the pieces are missing, and you can't get to some of the areas, and everybody just goes boo, boo, hiss. You don't want that to happen when you're messing with people's money. So it's got to be right. And I, for one, would have liked to have seen it, but you know what? I can wait 2 days. Nobody's going anywhere. All right, it's 2 days. We'll see it up on Thursday, and we'll know we'll have it working. And give a good congratulations to Coinbean and to Electroneum, putting all the effort into it to make this work. And there's a crud load of exchanges. All of a sudden now, Electroneum is in fashion to get in on these exchanges, and they're hunting down Electroneum and going, oh please, Mr. Electroneum, can I just your coin? So, it's happening, it's starting. So let's take a look here at what else we got on the screen. All right. Sergeant of the Marines, he's talking about, did you see the Reddit today about Electroneum being added to the next exchange? But the kicker is you could buy ETN with PayPal. So, yes, if you take a look at some of my videos in the past, let's bring this up here. I was going to talk about next exchange. If you look at some of my videos in the past, one of the things that I had always mentioned was we have the ability to trade, we have the ability to earn, and we just got to be able to find a way to get fiat into the system so that this money can be spent, and we have some velocity of the money going back and forth with Electroneum. That's how you know you've made it. That's how you know that a project, a coin, is there to stay. Is when you have velocity, where I get paid in it, and then I buy a bottle of water with it, and I do this with it, and that person does it, and it doesn't end up at an exchange to be cashed out for fiat. So one of my biggest concerns was that we have everything in place on Electroneum And this is true for all cryptos. This is not an Electroneum problem. All right, that how do we get funding into the system so that it can start being spun around in many ways? And that was a concern of mine, and I was talking about gift cards being used and finding other ways of doing it. This may be one of the better solutions, and they're relatively new in Next Exchange. It's kind of it's a hybrid system, being decentralized and having a website to be able to interact with. So it is a hybrid system, but being able to use your PayPal account will hopefully you'll be able to transfer not only from your bank account or from a credit card, but even if you have PayPal funds to apply it. And the big part of this whole thing is not that I can just buy crypto, because right now you go to Coinbase, you buy your Bitcoin, and then you take your Bitcoin and you go buy Electroneum. You'll be able to take your PayPal monies and buy directly into Electroneum, so cash in right to the Electroneum itself, and that's big. So basically what that means in technical terms, it's paired with fiat on the Next Exchange. So these folks may end up surprising us, and may end up being a wonderful gateway, being that it's decentralized. You know, who knows, you might be able to build this into applications or websites or other stuff. Who knows what's going to happen in the future, but there's a big nice bump for something like that with Next Exchange. So I'm going to keep my eye on this particular exchange. There's obviously a lot out there. We talked about those here, Cryptos, KuCoin, BitDNS, Cryptopia, all these guys, CryptoMate. I didn't even see CryptoMate. Good exchanges and all, but there's definitely a leg up with Next Exchange, and they're relatively new. So it's kind of awesome to think that they wanted to include us right in the rollout of the exchange. So definitely keep your eye on that. How you doing, Matt? Good to see you out there. All right. Double X is all excited. He finally caught one of the shows live. Yeah, we wanted to try to keep around that 9:30. We ended up starting around 10 o'clock today. So much Nicks, I had a lot going on. My wife wanted me to have some dinner with her. I got to spend time with her and chat a bit. I work so much. She doesn't get the time that she deserves from me. And luckily, she's reasonably good about it. I get pestered like every other husband, but when opportunity knocks, I spend a little time with her. So, all right. So Michael was talking about Verus coin, and he's been asking about this for the last few days. So the thing is, I did a cursory, Michael. I didn't do a deep dive. Basically took a look at the GitHub. I looked at the web page. I looked at the folks running it. I looked at the white paper at a very cursory glance. I start with that, and if I see some magic keywords or something amazing, then I usually go in deeper. So regarding the Verus coin, maybe it's a lack that I didn't dive in deeper, but there was it looks like an interesting project. I'll start off there. It appears that it's really just a store of value type of coin. The things that kind of flagged to me on a positive and a negative, obviously having a CPU mineable coin is awesome. There's a good need for coins that we can all mine on our CPUs. They're usually, running on the rigs anyway, and you can get a secondary coin to mine. So, you know, I thought that was really nice. The thing is that they created their own algorithm, and you know, unless you're a cryptographer or stuff, that's a real tough thing to do. So we'll take a look at the people that were involved as we go along. But you know, I'm kind of hesitant about fresh algorithms. I don't, you know, I would have rather see them do like an Argon 2. It's a proven CPU algorithm. But again, I did not dive deep into the white paper on why they decided to go this path. Now they have proof of work, proof of stake. They're also using the D proof of work. That seems to be like the big thing now these days. Allow people to have the proof of work, set up proof of stake so that they can sell those master nodes to raise capital. I don't usually like proof of stake for that point. Should I say, a lot of the proof of stake coins have taken advantage of investors and either disappeared or just, you know, didn't do anything. It was just basically to raise capital, saying, you know, we'll sell you so many master nodes for XYZ Bitcoin. So I you know, I get a little hesitant with that. At the same time, it seems to be a model that a lot of the coins are going to. Even Loki is going to be putting in. Right now, it's all proof of work. When they get their service nodes in place, they will then break apart. 50% will go to the proof of work, 50% will go towards the staking type of thing. And it might not be exactly those numbers, but that's exact, you know, the concept behind it. So, you know, I break even on that part of it. You know, ZK Snark for the privacy. You know, that's a positive. Like I said, I took a basic look at the white paper. Now, bounties are always good. They're obviously trying to get the community involved. Here's a couple of things. These folks apparently have some experience when you take a look at them. Your lead developer, you know, it was a technical fellow at Microsoft. Doesn't mean I don't know if he was working there or not, but obviously he was involved with the .NET. So you have somebody that knows what they're doing. But the problem is that I don't know if that person is actually working on the project. There's no connection to his LinkedIn account or anything, so that you can go see the history and the background and understand who this person is. And things like that bother me. It's good that they have names, but there's no way for an average Joe like myself to be able to confirm that this person is who they are and that they're even on the project. So not to say that Verus Coin is doing anything like that, but I can't confirm it, you know, on the ease. These people that have been working and doing things in these arenas should easily have a LinkedIn account at a minimum to show who they are. So that really bothered me. And so the overall opinion that I had on this was that it looked interesting. It's something that I would probably continue to monitor at some point. Is it something that I'm going to invest in at this time? No. I appreciate you bringing it to me. You know, if I got bored, I might take a look at mining some of Verus. You definitely. The other thing that concerned me, if you go to the Verus, like on the AN, Bitcoin Talk, and look at the AN and stuff like that, it didn't seem to have a whole lot there. So that could just because it's new, or they're keeping all their information on Telegram. Let's see, where's their social? Nothing here for social. So, you know, they should have a link on that website saying, you know, go here. Oh, they got Discord. There it is. So, you know, all their information may be on Discord. I did take a look at the Discord. I'll leave it at that. It's a speculative coin. Be careful what you do with the Verus. But hopefully those that are involved will do good. And good luck to those that are involved with it. All right, sorry about that. Let's go on to something else here. All right. We got Jeffrey. We said, oh, okay, SafeX exchange coin. All right. So I'll add SafeX. Michael wants to also know about SafeX. I'll take a look at that when I get a chance, Michael, and we'll see what we can come up with. I'm only going to do like one review, maybe two, you know, per show, of a quick look at. Richard Romeo from Ghana. Good to see you out there. Yeah, we got Double X. Okay, Double X is asking, what do you think about Congress and the cryptocurrency? You know, I have sometimes I have little faith in politicians. My concern is that when I see the things that are said, and it's not only with cryptocurrencies, in the U.S. Congress, there are people that don't belong to be there. Their IQ level is not high enough. And when I'm shocked that they passed elementary school. I've heard things from islands tipping over because there's too many U.S. soldiers on it I mean, the craziest stuff coming out of the mouths of people that are supposed to be our elected representatives, and it's a failure of us electing people that are supposed to be smarter than us, and that take the time to evaluate stuff. The second thing that concerns me is that you know, it's broken where finances can take over. You know, when I checked the Constitution last, it said "we the people," not "we the corporations" or "we the investment fund" or "we this" or "we that." It's "we the people," and the problem is that there's so much money buying influence that the nonsense that spews out of some of the representatives is laughable at best. So, and on the other foot, there are people that care, and luckily there's 50% of them that actually care about what they're talking about and looking into things. Ultimately, things will probably work out the way they're supposed to. So I think you know, crypto's going to be here. Congress isn't going to do anything about getting rid of it, so I'm not worried about that, if that's where you were going with this. Okay. Now, George is saying, yeah, there's going to be some very interesting and exciting times ahead. I agree 100%, and there's definitely lots of excitement that's going to be coming up. Let's take a quick look here. We had talked about some of the exchanges. We had the Next. We had Coinex. Coinex threw us on here to be added. Now, Coinex is a pretty big environment, and it's on here. If you take a look, there's Electroneum right here on my shoulder, and you need 500 votes to be put on the short list. And so voting for Coinex on the Coinex site for Electroneum can help. Now the thing is with Coinex, you've got to sign up, you got to do your KYC, you got to buy your Coinex coin. It's sort of like Binance, and I know a lot of folks are super stoked about Binance and putting a lot of their efforts in there. But if you're already a Coinex person, you know, put your vote in. Let's get it added. If you have extra time, extra resources, and the ability to spend a few minutes to get yourself KYC'd, and you think CoinEx is going to be the site for you to be able to make transfers, get your vote in. So if you're a CoinEx customer, make sure you vote Electroneum and get it on their list. If we can hit 500, you get on the short list, and you go from there. And it would be another exciting one to add. There's obviously we got the Coin Benny, we got the Hit BTC. From information that I've been given, that Hit BTC has us on the list, and are finally actively starting to interact with Electroneum to try to start to get the coin connected. So from what I understand, there's some mechanics starting to happen, and the wheels are slowly winding up. We'll see Hit BTC. It'll take a little bit of time, and some of these exchanges, they'll see Electroneum moving around on these other exchanges. They'll probably want to get it on there as soon as possible. So don't write Hit BTC off. It'll happen, at their pace. Nothing else you can do about that. And then of course we talked about Next. So yeah, a lot of exciting stuff. You want to know me? He's saying that Fat BTC. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if you were talking about Hit BTC, but if you were talking about Fat BTC, yeah, it's a new one on me. I haven't heard of that one. Fat BTC. What am I going to do? No, I haven't heard of Fat BTC. Let's take a look on the screen here. Is there such a thing? Never heard of that darn thing. Fat BC trade volume. There you go. So, yeah. That would be pretty awesome if they're putting up a vote. Obviously, I don't know, it looks like Chinese to me. It's supposed to be in English, but apparently it's not. There we go. Who knows how to get it into English? I'll have to play with it a little bit. Oh, there we go. Alright, so you just press it and voila, there it is. Deposit WKC. So they have their own token also. And another great exchange it apparently is. So yeah, if they're going to... you're going to have... What's going to be funny here is you're going to have these exchanges, FOMOing, because all they're going to be seeing is dollar signs, dollar bills floating down. And they see all the excitement with Electroneum, and they're going to FOMO themselves to get Electroneum onto their exchanges so they can be part of the action. And that's a good thing, because they're not going to spend the time and resources unless they did a little research themselves, and they are relatively convinced that there's a future here for that particular coin. So, that's a good thing, to have all these exchanges doing it. Okay. Big fellow saying, yeah, I wish they had sorted out before the release date. Yeah, that, I think that this industry being so new, some of these exchanges, are a year old. I think the experience and wisdom level of knowing when to open your mouth and when not to is still being learned. And they mean well with everything. And I think as they go along, they'll start to recognize, hey, we don't, especially with software, the last thing you want to do is commit to a date if you haven't done it before. It'll bite you in the behind every time. Right, Mr. Bean? Yeah, Mr. Bean knows. It'll bite you in the behind every time. Being a software developer for 30 years, if it's something I haven't touched before or whatever, there's always more. There's always more to the story than you know, and it always takes longer than you think. And never mind adding testing, and if that fails, you got to add more stuff to that. Want to interject one thing here. WebDollar being also one of my crazy speculative coins. I don't know if it's going to be worth nothing or if it'll end up being worth a penny or 10 cents. I don't know. It's a new coin. I've mined it. It's a CPU mineable type of deal, and it's so new that they're just starting to make pools for it. Just wanted to bring up that we have George. This is WebDollar I'm talking about here. This here is you just go to WebDollar.io and it'll just start mining. If you guys want, I'll put a link below for a pool so that you can try out one of the experimental pools. Now it'll only be for us. Don't distribute it to everybody. It'll just be for the viewers of DigitSpin. But I'll get you connected to the experimental pool. I was given that link to test out and to share with a few folks, so you can go on there and give it a whirl. So I'll put the link below. But moral of my story real quick was that one of the general manager and developer for WebDollar, we're going to be interviewing probably next week, at the end of next week. But this week we have George Alexandru, and he's in the marketing team and handles the forums and all the communications on the main site. He's going to be joining us. We're going to do a recorded interview, ask him lots of questions, and might be something of interest you'll want to check out. We're just trying to set up the dates. He's given me a handshake that he would do the interview, and so we're just working out the dates. They are in Romania, so you're looking at a 7-hour difference. So it's kind of like when I'm sleeping, he's awake, and vice versa. So I'll be probably staying up to 4 or 5 in the morning to make it easy on him to do the interview, and then we'll break it up, edit it, get it on a show for you guys, and we'll mark that accordingly. All right, so let's go back here, see what else we got. All right, so Nutrix out there, how you doing? He's in New York. We got Double X. Now I'm going to put this up on the screen, and let's take a look at the question. Do you think Electroneum should take a shot at the Venezuela inflation problem like Sean Davis mentioned? Apparently people at BTC are planning to do something similar to the Electroneum app for it. It's a tough question. There's a lot of components and moving parts in certain countries these days. Venezuela, North Korea, these areas add a lot of consternation to the rest of the world, and unfortunately it's always the people that take the beating when these things happen. So do I think Electroneum should be getting involved with geopolitical issues that are being fought out between countries? No, Electroneum is not big enough. It's a small little company to take on other countries, whether it be Venezuela, whatever, to change their system. I think that the basics of cryptocurrency is for the people to do things for other people. It has nothing to do whether it's Electroneum, Bitcoin, or any of these others. If somebody wants to be able to make a donation, a charitable donation to somebody else that's in dire need, that's the whole purpose of cryptocurrency, and the people will work it out amongst themselves. It has nothing to do with the parent companies. And in this case is Electroneum. In other cases, like Bitcoin, there are no parent companies. It's decentralized to a point where there's nobody that runs it, owns it. There's no place to go in and shut it down. So that allows for those particular, the crypto community, for those coins to more easily do those things. where if you have a company and you have a figurehead, you can have repercussions. So I think cryptocurrency as a whole will do wonderful things to help people in need. I know David Hayes is trying to help folks that make it over the border into Brazil and some of the other areas, to be able to help those folks, those that were lucky enough to escape and get out over the border and to get help. So that's what cryptocurrency as a whole has nothing to do with Electroneum. It's cryptocurrency, and no matter what the crypto you're sending to help somebody else in need, hey, that's a wonderful thing. Make sure it doesn't violate any sanctions for your particular country, and you're good. You know, simple as that. If you're interested in helping folks in need, see David Hayes. I remember seeing some of his videos maybe a month or two ago, and he actually flew down there, and he hired security folks, and you know, he had armed guards and armored cars and all this good stuff to get to where he needed to go. And I remember him cashing in the bitcoins, whatever value, whatever crypto for dollar, and he had stacks of money wrapped like little bricks, because you would you would weigh it. You know, it was maybe $1,000, and it was a big, you know, bucket full of brick paper. But see his website, tell him you want to help out, and you know, if it's important to you, you know, go do some good there. This has nothing to do with Electroneum. This has to do with you and the person you're trying to help. And if that's what you want to do, you'll find a way to do it with whatever cryptocurrency is required. So I hope that I made myself clear on that. This does not belong on the doorstep of Electroneum. It's not their responsibility as the figurehead, because cryptocurrency has nothing to do with the company. It has to do with me and you. That's the whole purpose of it. Okay. All right, let's take a look. We got Mars here. Mars is saying, hey Dino, Electroneum tends to launch the instant payment system by Q3. That means before that, the pending patents shall be granted, right? No, it doesn't mean that. Because whether or not a patent is granted or not may or may not mean that you can still use this. Having said that, I think the patents will be forthcoming, and as it's patent pending, they can use the word patent. I don't know if you ever bought something in plastic and it just says patent pending on the bottom. All right, so you know they're going to go about their plans to make it all work, get it out there, and when the patent is approved, it'll just slide into place and continue on its way, because it could take longer than September to get the patent. I'm not a patent lawyer and no expert by any means regarding patent applications and processes and length of time. Maybe there's somebody out there smarter than me that would know that answer, but I don't think the two are going to be tied together. One will help reinforce the other. All right, let's take a look here. All right, Michael's saying, thanks, only mining on my CPU, not buying it. Yeah, if you're talking about WebDollar, yeah, I wouldn't buy any WebDollars at the moment. You don't know if it's going to be worth anything. But if you can mine it for free, because you got the machine running anyway, hey, you know, knock yourself out. That's how I look at it. You know, you can, solo mining, you can make 6,000 WebDollars. You know, if the thing hits, you know, if it hits a penny, that's what? That's $60. If it hits a penny, you know, sometime in the future, if it, you know, if it hits a dime, it's $600. Where are you gonna make that type of money for nothing to have a machine sitting there? You're gonna have to wait, though. You know, you're gonna have to wait, because it could turn out to be completely worthless. But you know, that's the only way, because you're never gonna be able to mine truckloads of bitcoins and get that type of gain. You know, I have my machines running against was it Nice Hash. I have a couple of GPUs on Nice Hash. You know, you're making fractions, thousandths of a Bitcoin. You know, it literally would take what, 30 GPUs, 10, 11 months to get 1 Bitcoin, it's a significant amount of effort. And so, you know, I think it's worth the chance. You know, you get 30, 40,000 of these things. If you solo mine them, you put them off to the side and, you know, you see what happens. Have nothing to lose, as far as I'm concerned. But hopefully we'll learn more about it when George comes on sometime, hopefully this week. Just trying to work out that date. All right, let me just take a look and see if there's anything else I had on here. We talked about Telegram for DigitSpin, the giveaway, which we're going to do. Now, we're going to start off with yesterday's video. We did have a couple of folks who put their ETN address in. So at the end of the show, we're going to do pick a winner. And I'm going to pick a winner, and we're going to send out 50 coins to them. And then I will put the transaction number into the comments of this video, so it'll be the day of Father. So whoever, if you're smart enough to open up a second window right now and go to yesterday's video and just put in a comment and your Electroneum address before the end of this show, it'll get included. It's just a little tip, you know, just to let you know, right, Mr. Bean? Right. So he knows. So you could sneak it in before I do the pickle winner. Maybe you could be included and win an extra 50 Electroneum. Now these are my personal Electroneum. I'm earning them off of our experimental ASIC. Nobody gave them to me or anything. I just thought it'd be fun to share with the winnings that I'm getting from the ASIC. So just wanted to get back to you guys who've been enjoying the show here. Glad to see that happen. So, let's take a look here. All right, there's a couple more questions that we're going to hit to. Let's take a quick look at, since we were talking about the ASIC, currently we're back down to that under the 800 mark for the daily earnings. Remember yesterday it was up significantly. You get everybody jump on, and you can take a look here at the hash rate. So you can see everybody jumps on. When it went down, you were making a ton, and then now everybody jumps back on and it goes back down. So it seems like we're gonna, you know, get this little cycle of some of these ASICs jumping between coins to earn and maximize their profits. I just leave mine on there. Like I said, I just put a little Electroneum sticker on it, and you know, that's its purpose in life. What's my purpose? To what's that on Rick and Morty? What's my purpose? To serve butter. Those of you who watch Rick and Morty know what I'm talking about. All right, so yeah, you know, the good news is that it's still in that $10 range. Now, there is, and I'm going to probably bring a video to you of why some of the values of the coins are what they are, and it's pretty complicated, because mining has a lot to do with it. See, if you have a lot of volume, a lot of people buying it, that hype and volume can alter the price of the coin. When volume is low and it's just stable, it has an equilibrium, the miners have a lot of control. So when you take a look at how many coins you can mine, it's a reciprocal of what's getting out of Bitcoin, and for the same amount of energy and time that's being spent, it should be equal. Otherwise I would just mine the Bitcoin, because as a farm I'm mining these, selling them to turn it into Bitcoin. So this has to be equal or greater than just running a miner on Bitcoin, and there's an equilibrium between these two. And I'm gonna put together a presentation to explain all this in the days ahead, and give you a little bit more details from it. So look forward to that, so that you'll see my theory on why Electroneum is at the price that it is half the time, minus the hype, because the hype is what changes things. All right. Now, speaking of ASICs, boom! Yesterday we talked about that there was very little ASICs miners. I believe Jacob, if I'm not mistaken, I think Jacob was the one that, wasn't it Jacob? Yeah. I think it was Jacob that told me that take a look at Bitmain. They're creating another batch of Antminers, X3s. Obviously, they recognize people are buying them up now because of Electroneum specifically, or yeah, and the other coins also. But you know, Electroneum, people are gonna want to have those ASICs. The thing that really knocked my socks off, $1,300. Now this afternoon it was $1,200, and I have a feeling I went to go. I'm going to be honest with you. For $1,200, it was $1,253 this afternoon, and the first thing I wanted to do was go throw it on there and put it on my credit card real quick, because you know it's half the price of what I've seen them, and they're shipping them in September, if I'm not mistaken. So I put my order in. I signed up. I put my order in, and you have to either pay with Bitcoin or you have to wire them the money. You can't pay with a credit card. So I'm sitting there dumbfounded looking at my credit card going, okay, these people are ahead of the curve, and I don't have 17% of a Bitcoin. I don't own that much, 0.17, and I got money on my credit card, but I have to wire it, and I can't get it off the credit card. So now I'm looking at an order that I have no idea how I'm going to pay for. Good problem to have, I guess. So I got to figure out how I'm going to get a hold of it. But if you are looking for an Antminer X3, this is the best price I've seen, and the price change is probably because it's being compared against all of the cryptocurrency. So if you have Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, or Bitcoin, you can purchase one of these Antminer X3s. Unfortunately, they don't take Electroneum, or this story would be over, and I'd have 3 or 4 of them. But I don't have any Bitcoin to pay for these things, so I'm out of luck for now at the moment. I got to figure out how I'm gonna get a hold of one at that price. It's a steal. Don't forget, you need a power supply that adds about another $200 to the price. But that's the purchase of the day that I've seen. You just gotta have to wait 60 days or so to get it. But and it's about $130, $135 to get it to you via DHL. And they had UPS, DHL. They had what's that other character? Federal Express. DHL being the cheapest of the 3. Okay, so that was exciting news, and I want to thank Jacob for bringing that to me. All right, let's go back and take a look. We have why he wants to know if I saw Mint and Coin's YouTube chat on the 2 brothers interviewing Richard. Yes, I did see that. Did see the 2 French-Canadian guys happened to be in London. Knocked on the door of Electroneum and said, let me in, or I'll huff and puff and blow your house down. And they let him in. So congratulations, these guys got in there. They had maybe 5 minutes to spend with Richard. He talked about all of the exchanges and some of the other things that he had on his mind. It was short and sweet. Really good, nice score. Congratulations to those 2 guys. And definitely something to go take a look at if you haven't seen it. It will be, I don't know if it's on YouTube, but Mint and Coins, if you check out his site, I believe he has a link to, I think it's on Vimo or something to that effect. What do I know? That's just something to take a look at. All right, so we got a new face here, and how do you say that? The Julio Coop? Who Coop? I don't know. How Coop? Maybe you could tell me how to say that. I don't know. I'm not that smart. I can't figure it out. But he said he caught us on the live stream, and he loves the videos. And I appreciate you taking the time to put that in the chat and let me know. It's great to get that feedback. This way I know whether or not my time has been, worth it. It's a lot of energy, and to gather all the information together, to bring it to you, to try to make it effective, be entertaining and interesting all at the same time. So do appreciate you on that. Okay, so Marco, how you doing, Marco? Good to see you out there. We got H-Bomb. I see you out there, H-Bomb. My cousin Tony's doing good. Always good to talk to Tony. I say, hey, Tony, give me a pizza. I need a pepperoni pizza right away. Make it quick. Get it over here. So Marco's asking about the PayPal. Let's take a look here. What do you think of PayPal and Electroneum? So I'm not exactly sure what that's in how that question is being posed. The differences between the two, and we discussed yesterday about Electroneum and how its patent works. PayPal, on the other hand, what PayPal is doing, and this is one that I forgot because I went through the MasterCard, Visa, I went through Electroneum yesterday. Take a look at that video. The one that I did miss was PayPal, and somehow it skipped my vision. PayPal, what PayPal is trying to do is as follows. What they want to do is, if you have let's say you have a Bitcoin or a tenth of a Bitcoin, whatever, we're going to say 1 Bitcoin. I could care less what the price is. You have a Bitcoin. You can put it. You create a new wallet, and that Bitcoin gets put in that wallet. Now, if you try to make a purchase and it comes to 1 Bitcoin, you now have to put it on the blockchain, and it has to cycle through the process before you, the seller, get a notification that you got paid. And that's where the rub is on everything. I can't wait 10 minutes to 30 minutes. So, by making a new wallet and putting money into that wallet, what's the easiest way to give that money to somebody? Not to transfer it from my wallet to your wallet, but to literally hand you the wallet and say, here's the wallet and keys, it's yours. Now you have the wallet and keys, and you go into it and there's your money. And you just transfer it out. You're not moving the money. I'm handing over the wallet to you, and now you take possession of the wallet. Now you have the keys. So it's a trick way of doing something, and PayPal's not the first to come up with this. There was another probably a year ago, Dime, something with a dime in it. They were actually creating a hardware wallet, so it would have a magic number and an address and a key, and you could load it like a prepaid Visa MasterCard. So you could literally take this thing like it was a dollar bill or something, and you could say, all right, I got 1 Bitcoin on it, and I want to buy something from somebody. Instead of transferring you the money, I give you the hardware with the keys, and I hand it to you and say, here's $100, or here's 1 Bitcoin's worth, whatever the value of it. Here you go, it's yours. And now that person has the money. There's no transfer, no blockchain required. Yeah, I'm sure. I hope I'm making this clear. I'm physically just handing it over to them, so you don't need to put it on the blockchain. The person who has the hardware, the piece of hardware, can now take it, plug it in his machine, and he can then transfer it at his leisure to wherever he wants to, or she. So you don't have to put it on the blockchain. I'm just handing it over to you. So that's one way of going about it. It's actually kind of smart. The only part I'm not sure of is how the key process works. There has to be some kind of intermediary that's holding on to the keys, so that I don't know what they are. I load this with 1 Bitcoin, and I don't know, what the keys are. I have to connect to this site, and it with a piece of hardware or something, and it knows what my keys are, and it says there's $100 on this chip, or 1 Bitcoin on this chip. Do you want to send it somewhere? And so this way you can plug it in, and you can say, how much money's on this? So it's $100 worth of Bitcoin. Fine. I know there's $100 worth of Bitcoin on here. Here, I want to pay for this. So that's the concept between that. If you want to hear my thoughts on the others, go back to the other video because, as you know, I like to talk, and this video you guys wouldn't be getting out of here till midnight. So hope that was educational, entertaining to you, and you understand it better, because it's valuable stuff. It's good things you need to know. All right, let's take a look here. Oh, that's for the end of the show. We'll give away. We did our fat BTR. I just want to make sure we get all these. All right, so I'm going to take a look at some additional questions, and we'll hit some more questions. All right, so Marv, how you doing, Marv? Good to see you out there. He wants to get the Electroneum listed to Fat BTC. I have never used it, so I'm not familiar with it. Let's put Marv up on here. Let's get Electroneum onto Fat BTC. You know, every exchange that we can get Electroneum on, bonus. It's a big win. Go for it. Absolutely. You know, get it out there. You know, if you see something that you can participate in to help Electroneum get on exchange, make it happen. Definitely, Binance is something that we definitely want to try to focus on. It will bring a lot of gravitas to the coin, and it'll shock and make people stutter who are making fun of the coin just a short while ago. So we want to see that happen. H-bomb, there we go. My cousin Tony, we already talked about that. So H-bomb's laughing at me. He goes, you gotta love it when a credit card isn't useful. Welcome to crypto. This is an example of how the world is going to change. I was just telling the story to you guys about Bitmain. Now, obviously, Bitmain's business is crypto. But the fact is, I had a credit card and money on it that I couldn't use. And that has never happened before in my lifetime. And that's the first. And we're going to see more and more of that stuff happening. But the fact that I bumped up against it and I have no way of purchasing this thing unless I have crypto left me a little cranky and excited at the same time, because it's starting to happen, and at the same time I was like, take my money. You know, I couldn't give him my money. But it's happening. There's an example. It is happening. So be excited about the future of crypto. This stuff is going to definitely change the way things work. Let's see here. You want to know me? You can link Coinbase to your credit card and buy. Yeah, and, you know, some credit cards decline it. The card I have is American Express. They don't use American Express. You know, trying to get your money through Coinbase is, you know, like a rat trying to get through a maze to find a piece of cheese. It's real tough. Now, I could probably take, what I'm going to have to do is go down and buy a gift card with my credit card at a local store, then take the gift card and I can use that to buy crypto. And then, yeah, it's way too much effort. But I don't know if I need the second ASIC that bad. I don't know. Maybe I'll just buy my wife some slippers or something. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. When it becomes real important to me, I'll make it happen. I'm sure, just like everybody else, right, Mr. Bean? Right. So he knows exactly. All right. So H-bomb is talking about that there's some additional. I was talking about the PayPal patent, not the PayPal thing. And so H-bomb saying the PayPal thing is apparently an exchange where you can buy ETN with PayPal. So that is, if you had caught the earlier part, that's what the next exchange. Next exchange is going to connect with PayPal. You can go and open an account with Next Exchange and use your PayPal to purchase Electroneum in the Next Exchange decentralized hybrid system. Okay, what I was talking about just a few seconds ago was the PayPal patent, because somebody had asked me about to go through the patents. So I went through all the other patents yesterday except for the PayPal one, which I just went through today. So I hope that clarifies it for you, H-bomb. All right. So we got Bulky. He's usually got a good question. Let's just put it up on the screen. Do you have to wait for it to be put on the wallet before you give it away? That wouldn't solve the problem with faster transactions. Can you only prepare for the purchaser or transaction? So I'm not sure what this is relative to. What, unfortunately, we've had a lot of stuff we've talked about before you give it away. Okay, I'm assuming that you're talking about the PayPal concept where you put money on a device. So yeah, basically, you know, there was a company that created a piece of hardware, but what they're doing is that you would open up a wallet. You would say, you would go to their site, you'd open up a wallet where you have no keys, and once you put money on it, it's stuck there because you have ownership of it, and then you could transfer the ownership. The physical device made more sense to me, because then if you handed somebody that physical device, they physically have it in front of them. I'm not sure how this would work in a virtual way without a physical device to transfer it. And maybe it might be disposable. It might look like a credit card, and if you pick one up at a local store, and you'll type in the numbers, you'll send your Bitcoin to the numbers on the card, and now that card is loaded, and then you can then take it and use it on PayPal or wherever. You know, what do I know? Hey, we'll see. There's lots of ways to skin a cow, I guess, right? Skin a chicken. All right. So we got S-Smoke. At what point do we start selling Electroneum to millionaires? So he wants to know when we start selling it. So the fact of the matter is that we're not going to sell anything to anybody, to be honest with you. When, you know, millionaires are great. There's probably a lot more than you think out there. You know, the institutional investors, it's going to be people like you and me that have $100, and those get put together into a fund of some type, and then that fund purchases different types of crypto to be put into a sort of like a 401k where you have all these different investments, and that's where you'll start to see stuff happen. You're not going to make anybody do anything, and folks that are investors that are savvy enough to understand what's going on with Electroneum, they're gonna, you know, make their purchases, and they'll add the Electroneum to their collection, and hope to see a benefit from it in the future. So, you know, the more there's good news, and the more that it's being used, it's gonna naturally just flow to every crevice and corner, and people are gonna naturally want to grab a hold of it, and that's where it's going to take everybody else by surprise. All those other folks that are making fun of it didn't even bother to research it or understand what they were making fun of. It's gonna go right behind them, and it's gonna lift off without them. You know, they're gonna be staring over here, and while they're staring over here, you know, while they're staring over here, Mr. Bean's on the other side. All right, and they turn around and they missed it. And that's exactly what's going to happen. They're going to miss it. So, all right. And Bulky. Okay, so if you have any other questions, put them in the comments. I think I've gotten everything here. Page 1, page 2. Let's take a quick look. And we got page 3. Comments. You guys are great with the questions today. I appreciated each and every one of them. It's a lot of fun to talk about them. All right. And H-Bomb was saying, yeah, it's right, H-Bomb. It is an exchange. It's the next exchange. So this way you understand that. The next exchange is what's going to be connected to PayPal. All right. All right, so I got all of the questions answered up. So let's do our giveaway. Hopefully you were smart enough to go put your Electroneum address and make a neat comment in the video from yesterday to be included. So what we're going to do is I've used this website here. It's called pickawinner.co. And basically, I go to the YouTube page. I grab the share, and you see it here for that page. And what this pick a winner is going to do, it's going to go read all the comments, and it's going to randomly throw one up on the screen. Now, here's the rules. Not everybody has an Electroneum address listed. They're going to have just a comment. If the comment selected does not have an address, we're going to hit the button again and pick another one until we find somebody that had a comment with an Electroneum address. Once I have that, I'm going to mark it on a piece of paper. You'll be the winner of 50 Electroneum. After the show closes up, I'll go downstairs, I'll make a transfer of the 50 Electroneum to that address, and then I will copy the transaction number and put it onto the system. Now, I'm going to be transferring it from probably the wallet, the Electroneum wallet. And I'm not sure they have a transaction number. I'll take a look. I could swear they do. And sometimes it could take a little time to get that transaction number because it goes into processing. And then it comes up with the transaction number. The blockchain's been working pretty good, so it should be quick. But as soon as I get the transaction number, I'll post it so that you know I made the transaction if you have a question. And want to wish luck to everybody. And we'll go forward and let's give this a shot. So you guys ready? Let's do this. We're gonna fetch. It's gonna load up the comments from yesterday. So we got eight comments that are valid because sometimes there are duplicates. And we're gonna now pick a winner. And that's hopefully this will have an Electroneum number. And I won, yay! Obviously, I have a pinned message as number one to tell you to play. So let's pick again. All right. So Dos Music won. Uno, dos music, two musics. So congratulations to Dos Music. You've won yourself 50 Electroneum from my personal stash from the ASIC, experimental ASIC mining machine. So we'll get those out to you today. I have your address here. Let me make a sticky note. Let's see here. We got the Dos Music, big winner. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to stick it on my forehead here, put it under my hat, and now I have it ready to go. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to participate in the next winning for Electroneum, put a comment down below in this video when you see it. And it probably takes about 30 minutes, 40 minutes. We'll come back to it tomorrow. Put your comment, make sure it's intelligent and wise and smart and entertaining, and then put your Electroneum number there. And you too could probably win 50 Electroneum from the DigitSpin experimental ASIC stash of coins. So thank you very much. Enjoy your night, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Good night.